Hello, everyone, and welcome back to CBRMTG. My name is Angus Mackay, and I'm joined here with Kate. G'day, Kate.
Hi, glad to be here.
We are just a little bit started on our lands mirror. We have Nono red lands, so Ren and 6 reportedly bad at 2 points, and Ronnie on green black lands. We're just getting an idea of our opening hands now. But Kate, what can you tell us about lands and maybe give an overview for the players at home?
It's trying to do what it says on the tin. Do stuff with lands, recur lands like Wasteland, use lands to like make 2020s with like Dark Depths, that kind of thing. Relatively underloved form archetyped in 7-point because it costs points every time anything else is good.
Yeah, it seems to have had that sort of unlucky run lately. And I think a couple of times I remember even like, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, be like, oh, make sure you don't get any splash damage for lands because we need to keep it sacred. And I think people like to play fast bond and stuff. And it's like, very popular archetype at one point, but it's definitely fallen by the wayside lately. And through no small part, Ren and 6 recently became 2 points. I guess Life from the Loam depointed. Was there any other big points for lands recently?
Gamble got a point.
Yeah.
Just like stuff like Minsk and Boo is like a card that the deck would love to play, but can't really afford to play anymore either.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit difficult. I mean, usually, and we see this in whoopsies, that's not Brandon's hand. It's Pete's hands, but that's okay. He's looking at a couple points already with Crop Rot and Fast Bond. Two very good ones. But there used to be I felt like the points used to be pretty set as a lands player. Green Sun Zenith, now depointed, I suppose. But Crop Rot, Fast Bond, Caracas sometimes.
Strip Waste.
Yeah, and there's Strip Waste. Yeah, exactly. And that usually fills you up pretty well. But I don't know. I wanted to say it breeds innovation that they actually have to choose points now, but it's definitely a downside for people who wanted to play the red version with Gamble and Ren and 6.
Yeah.
We're seeing as our players move on, the Beseju has gone to the bin from the Mox Diamond. Pete looking to just maybe sculpt his hand a little bit. We've got the option to Crop Rot something, but maybe he hasn't decided yet what he wants to get.
Yeah, we just ate the Hogak out of the green black lands graveyard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. Very proactive. Not really holding up any surprises or anything. But I guess if it is Hogak, and you're nearly close to casting it, that's probably a good enough reason to get ahead of the curve and just exile it immediately,
Yeah. The redless lands.
Safekeeper?
That is a safekeeper. The redless land player seems to have not much going on currently, and is definitely in the.
You always have. You always have the option of Crop Rotting for something, but depends on the way. I guess it depends on the way that you want to structure your turn or the way that you've built your deck, because having a Crop Rot can get your Field of the Dead, but Pete's already got the Field of the Dead, and it's could get I don't know. Is there any other really big utility lands that you can play in lands?
Like a Surveil land, maybe.
Yeah, I suppose.
But it's not really worth crop rotationing for that.
Absolutely. I guess we see the Titania in hand. If Pete has his own copy of Caracas, he might just be wanting to sort of surprise Ronnie with that Caracas for either the Titania or the eventual Dark Depths combo.
Yeah, Ronnie has played a Fast Bond, which is always the scariest card.
Really combos well with Courser of Crufix and Crucible of Worlds. It means that you stay neutral, but even if you pay 6 life, a fetch land a few times with the Crucible out, I guess you're paying double that amount because you're cracking the fetch as well. Player doesn't mind that at all, you know. Crack 3 fetches, hell yeah. You know, empty my deck out. This doesn't mean you auto win, but it definitely speeds up the process of making those land drops for sure.
Yeah, this invasion of Ikoria is very scary. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Ikoria.
this is on. Yeah, and this is a 2-card combo that we've seen a couple of times being played since this battle came out. But Invasion of Ikoria
Hexmage.
get the Hex Mage and then use it to kill the invasion is like 4 mana, make an 8/8. So pretty
8/8.
valuable in something. Yeah. So pretty valuable in something that you have in your back pocket. You're already playing the Hex Mage as well. So and this one's just about Grandson Zenith. So it seems like it fits really well in Ronnie's deck.
Yeah, and it also like Thorn Elementals your team, so you can surprise kill through like blockers and stuff.
Yeah.
But Brandon just drew Crucible Worlds, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon's got his own copy of Life from the Last Bond, so he does have the ability to sort of move this around a little bit, but it's not everything. No means is it game over.
Yeah.
There it is now. Crucible Worlds, a 3 mana artifact allows you to play lands from your graveyard. Obviously, a great combo with the Fast Bond. Here comes the crop rotation. We're about to see basically Brandon's entire hand. We'll see what he comes up with from this crop rotation.
Yeah. Looking at fetch lands to maybe just try to put a bunch of 2/2s in play, which I don't think works into the backside of the invasion.
Yeah, that's true. The zombies. It's got trample as well. Yeah, you're gonna have a tough time blocking. Because it does have trample.
It has Thorn Elemental text, I think. So where you can assign damages though it won't block.
Oh yeah, that's terrible news. Interesting. We have three different land types. I think the Field of the Dead from memory is 5, might be 7.
It's 7.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's kind of huge. I mean, we're not really doing that now, at least for the next bit. But I think Brandon's doing some math in his head. He can crack a fetch, play the fetch from his graveyard, pay 1 for the Fast Bond, then do it again, and then fetch again. So he's kind of got infinite fetches at the cost of 2 life each time. Thanks to the
we also have a Swamp and a Besieger in the graveyard to get 2 more lands with only paying 1 life.
Nice, yeah. So I guess we're online really. Like, you pay 8 life, push yourself to 8.
And buy it to the backside of the invasion.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. Hopefully, Brandon's doing some serious maths, because if he does put himself to 8 here, putting himself down a little bit, but he's putting himself down extra. Like, he could actually just be dead to the 8/8. You're right. Let's see what he's trying. Yep. Let's pick up fetch land, cracks it. It's a new land. Fetch land. Let's try him this time. Okay.
We make zombies. 1, 2, 3.
Now we're making zombies.
Yeah, now we have 2 zombies. We have 2 zombies.
Nice. Yep. Okay, so basically, it sounds like Brandon might have done his maths, because he is going to make a couple of zombies here, but he puts himself to the very important number of 9, where the invasion backside is.
Nope.
It keeps himself alive. Nope, never mind. Okay. Maybe there's a plan in mind.
The invasion backside also Thorn Elementals your team, if I remember correctly.
Oh shoot! Okay. So we only have the Sylvan Safekeeper. Well, no, we have the Bloodghast as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Brandon comes up with. Hopefully he has a plan, but we've seen his hand. It's empty. I guess you can make a bunch of zombies. Yeah, okay. That's what we're gonna do.
The backside is non-humans, so it works with the Stinkweed Imp, but not the sack the lands to give Shroud.
Oh, the Sylvan Safekeeper. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's funny where Ikoria definitely taught us to find out what is a human and what's not a human, and challenges me every time. Challenges me every time. Okay. We would just say that this is the Titania that we saw before. No land to get back. We're attacking
We
him
had
for we're attacking him for a lot here.
10, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't block it.
Okay. Okay. So obviously the benefit of looking at people's plays as opposed to playing the game is that you get to see some lines that the players might not have. But yes, certainly put himself down a life and didn't read that extra text on backside of Invasion of Ikoria, and suddenly we're into game two. When was the last time you saw a lands deck in the wilds, Kate?
A few months ago, someone brought one to one of the Perth locals. I think it was just like straight green black. Because I think it was when Ring was still 0. It was pretty good in that deck with like a bunch of mana accelerants.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see it. It's nice. It was interesting that's where the Ring went because, like, when it came out, the ubiquity was so high, as everyone's just like, okay, it needs to be a point. Like, it has to pay the troll toll. And it felt like it was really close to coming to 2 when it first became 1, and then I never heard about it ever again. So I just assumed like 1 is probably the correct number for the Ring.
Yeah, there was a lot of people talking about it going to 2, and there was still some people playing. There still are people playing at 1. People are playing it in like the Walks deck at CanCon a bunch.
Yeah.
But with
Yeah, I can see it.
with Walks getting a bunch of extra points, I think they have now cut it.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, it's probably the way. I don't know. When we were doing like data analysis for recent events, it was like between Omnath midrange, Omnath walks was like not that much. I think that every time that Omnath midrange gets an extra set of points, it actually also hurts the walks deck because they just don't have that much points to play around with. You know, with time walk is 5 points. You really only have just a couple to play around with, and whether or not that's an Inskambu or the One Ring and something else. And now you have to play Spellseeker as well, and suddenly it's like, well, you kind of have to play Spellseeker. You only got 1 point up your sleeve.
Yeah, which definitely limits a lot of things that you can play in those slots.
Yeah, absolutely.
But definitely still a powerful deck. You can do a lot with with Walks.
Oh yeah. But do you expect the meta to change much in time for CANBRAWL 3 next week?
A little bit. Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, it got a lot better with the release of Fallout.
Yeah, well, that's right. I heard about this. I haven't dug too deep in it, but this pre-formal wear seems to be getting a little bit of attention in the sort of spiky circles now.
Yeah. I played a small thing on the Sunday of the regional championship last weekend, and it really impressed me. Just you Stoneforge for formal wear, and then if they kill Stoneforge, you get to get back the Stoneforge and buy another equipment.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can also just rebuy any other creature that died this game.
Yeah,
They cost 3 or less.
Unreal.
Plays well with like something like Lelia or like cheap creatures that like die a lot. Like you rebuy Esper Sentinel and it's a 3/3, so they try to kill it again and you draw a card.
Yeah, the +2/+2 really blows me. Like it's vigilance and +2/+2 if I'm not mistaken.
It is, yeah.
You get that free equip as well. It's like that's pretty powerful, and like suddenly it's also unearthing. Like I understand that they're like trying to test how much they can push the limits of the unearth effect, because we saw like Helping Hand, and I think there was another white one that came out recently as well. So it's like
Recommission
or whatever. Commission, that's the one. Yeah, so they're definitely testing it, seeing how powerful they can go. But you get kind of sweaty when the Universes Beyond cards get that sort of like testing as well, because you're like, well, they have special liberty to make it even more powerful than it was before because it's the Universes Beyond set. So yeah, not unusual to see a random equipment pop up in a Universes Beyond set and have it be kind of a bit busted.
Yeah. So I think that is the only real big meta change going into CANBRAWL 3. And the players are drawing their opening hands.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at what we got here. I see Sylvan Safekeeper. I see Dark Depths on Ronnie's side. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty close to what last game looked like.
I think this is Fatal Push Opposition Agent, and then 3 lands, including Adepts.
That's really nice. Okay, seeing the Thoughtseize now. Sylvan Safekeeper, Opposition Agent, as you mentioned. Fatal Push, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then what looks to be a couple of fetch lands and a Dark Depth. So pretty great hand. I think it'd be nice to have a little bit of acceleration instead of the Sylvan Safekeeper, but I guess as soon as the Safekeeper's on the battlefield, it's impossible to get rid of. So probably okay to just have that as your opening spell and then go from there.
Yeah. This Opposition Agent. This Opposition Agent is very good against the lands deck. It's full of fetch lands and land tutors and cards like that. So
it feels like such a blowout when you get done in by an Opposition Agent, but it's like I still don't see it happen that much. Maybe it's just keeping up 3 mana is a little bit awkward for a lot of decks. So you kind of just want to play it out, and then if you play it out, then the surprise factor is gone. You know, like I've been intuitioned before. I've had my intuition Opposition Agents before, and that's actually just at your opponent's library for 3 cards and you get them. It's like pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's real bad.
Oh yeah, so it has that like huge breakout, huge breakouts plays, but I feel like I don't see it as much as I possibly should be.
Yeah, it's only really broken when the opponent doesn't have removal spells, and a lot of decks just have the removal spells.
Real.
Yeah, Brandon feeding Scavenging Ooze to the Fatal Push.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ronnie. Sorry.
Kind of interesting. Yeah, we'll see what else Brandon's got in his hand. It would be nice to get an idea of what we were handling so protectively that we would get rid of the Scavenging Ooze, because I think that incidental graveyard hate kind of important, you know.
Yeah, I think it's Wasteland, Life from the Loam. Those are the cards I've seen so far.
Okay.
Which are pretty good ones.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Overgrown Tomb tapped for Ronnie. Yeah, Tropical Island, Wasteland. Wasteland's a draw a bit. Yeah,
Wasteland.
It's like, I don't know, I would prioritize Scavenging Ooze pretty high because it is that graveyard hate against your opponent's plan, but maybe we want the Death Rite a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess we're protecting Death Rite, which is a pretty good card. And
yeah, it also does everything.
Yeah, it still like eats the lands out of the graveyard. Stage, Thespian Stage is the draw, which makes it so if Ronnie ever plays Dark Depths, that's a problem.
Something that you don't get often is those weird interactions, but in a mirror, yeah, absolutely. If Ronnie plays a Dark Depths, Brandon can just say, you know what, I want a Dark Depths, and interesting tension between those 2 decks for sure.
Wasteland Loam is something that's going to be hard to break out of without finding something like a Bajuka Bog.
Let's see what Ronnie comes up with. We will need some kind of graveyard hit at some point. And I mean, this forest is going to be very helpful.
Entomb. No, we're entombing Strip Mine, so now we can loan back the Strip Mine. The forest is no longer useful.
Yeah, that's pretty funny because I think Ronnie might have needed that extra like you can just go like 2 fetch lands and a basic. You're like, all right, I can probably play around this. I get my one thing down. Maybe it's a Crucible or maybe it's something that helps. But now Pete's, if he ever gets a fast bond or an exploration or anything, oh, it's just
Yeah.
gonna be really hard regardless, but extra hard now for sure. Learn for the play.
This is, yeah, this is good. This is going to be very hard for Ronnie to get out of.
Absolutely. Funny because Brandon doesn't actually have that much else going on. Tropical Island and a Wasteland just from the draws from the Life from the Loam, but I think Brandon's like pretty incentivized to life every turn, you know, or at least until Ronnie stops playing. Ronnie ever stops playing a land drop, then it's gonna be a lot harder because then Brandon can get up a land and then try and enact some other game plan. But you kind of put yourself at your own standstill by getting Life from the Loam, casting Life from the Loam, getting Life from the Loam, casting Life from the Loam. You know, you kind of like lock yourself into this play. Obviously, the standstill definitely benefits Pete. Definitely benefits Brandon more than it benefits Ronnie.
Yeah. Land Urza Saga Sheoldred's Edict.
Oh, nice one for the mirror as well for the sacrifice clause to get rid of that Dark Depths, get rid of the Merit Leash.
Yeah, and you can choose token to kill through other random creatures in play.
Yeah. It's been, speaking of like things that they're slowly buffing over time, I think Edicts, I felt like True Name went to 2 and then True Names kind of fell off, and then Edicts just stopped being played very much in Highlander. I didn't see Edicts for a really long time. Then like Sheoldred's Edict came out, and it was like another one that was relatively good, but it's like it seems like it's back on the menu again for sure.
Sheoldred's Edict and Sudden Edict is the other one that was new.
Yep.
They're both pretty good. Stand wise, Pick Up My Wasteland is pretty good.
Oh, ouch. It's that's a neat one.
Have some pressure and still got to rebuy the Wasteland.
Super good for anyone who doesn't know. Samwise the Stout-Hearted 1 and a white for a 2/1 with flash, I believe.
Yes.
Halfling? We're gonna go Halfling. Hell yeah. But and then when it enters the battlefield, you can get back a permanent that left the battlefield this turn. Only one, but so good.
And it also tempts the ring.
Oh, of course, yeah. Which can be relevant. So I guess Sam is going to be our ring bearer, but one, they have Skulk. 2,
they attack and draw this card.
Rummage, yeah. Or loot. I think that second clause is pretty good, but it's kind of hard to do the second ring tempting is much harder usually.
It usually comes up with Caracasing your own, Sam.
Ooh, now we're talking. Okay, now we're talking. Yeah, this is over for poor Ronnie, I think. Without knowing the outcome of the match, like, still just staying on one land. Brendan can get a land back now.
Yeah.
It's like put it on the battlefield.
Brendan also has an Ashiok, which makes things even harder.
Yeah, a little bit hard to cast at them. Oh no, Scrubland counts for 1. Okay, so any other black or blue land will get Brandon to the Ashiok.
Yeah, there's a Misty Rainforest in hand.
Okay. So we're definitely able to. I don't know. I guess you like determine how much damage you think your opponent could do with unfettered access to 2 mana. I think like 3 mana maybe you want to stop the opposition agent, but I think probably okay for Brandon to take the turn off and off Ashiok. What do you think?
I think so. I think like with 2 unknowns and a land that doesn't produce mana, then it turns off any other fetch lands from working. Tropical Island also casts Ashiok.
That'll do it. It's attacking for 1. Great sequencing. Go on to the next one. Ashiok. Yep, as you predicted, here comes the Ashiok. 3 mana Planeswalker. Only ticks down. Static ability is you can't search libraries, I'm pretty sure, is the only ability.
Yeah, opponents can't search libraries.
There you go, perfect. So, as most War of the or the Spark Planeswalkers go. Only one-sided stacks piece, but very powerful one to have attached to your graveyard hate for sure.
We might see Ashiok target Brandon to mill extra cards. He'll find something to loan back next turn.
Yeah, super nice. I like the versatility of the targeting because it always exiles each
Your
opponent's graveyard. Yeah, but you can still mill yourself, which is kind of neat, especially in this matchup where obviously Brandon doesn't mind getting milled a little bit, especially when the Life from the Loam is going.
Do we know what points the players are playing?
No. That's I guess in a very roundabout way I do. But it might take a little bit of time to get there. But I think Ronnie is a newer player. So we might be seeing an 8-point list on Ronnie's side, and I think that's
I think
yeah,
Fast
I think
Bond is
so.
reserved. And I think we've seen it Bailey.
Okay.
But
In that case, never mind.
But mostly, if Brandon has Uro, that's a big reason to target yourself with Ashiok.
Oh, definitely. Probably a good reason. I don't know. Again, at 2 points, it's like maybe you don't want to play it just because you can probably find more efficient ways to use your points. But I don't know. Uro is still a really powerful card.
Dark Death has been played, and then Thespian Stage has been answered with, so we might be seeing a 2020 made.
God. It's not that Brandon needs it, but he might be able to have access. Yeah, as you said before, to the Marrow Age. That was so nice that Brandon's sandbagging the Thespian Stage for as long as possible because, like, hell yeah, maybe you do actually just like get it. You know, your opponent just plays it out, and you get to get that free one. I guess Brandon did know that Ronnie did have that Dark Depths, so
Yeah,
at the very least he was clued into that.
from the turn one Thoughtseize. Still looking very hard for Ronnie to claw out of this game.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I mean, at least that would mean that we would go into a game 3, which is also very exciting. But yeah, if Ronnie ever breaks out of this, he could just lock this game up immediately. Just looking at Rowan's list, I see Crop Rot, I see Mossbond, Green Suns at 0, which is nice. Raketh, the Reanimate, as we've seen a lot of the times in the past, is a free 0-point buy your stuff back. The Saga we saw, and then yeah, Wasteland. So I think that puts us to 8, if not very close. But yeah, oh, and Strip Mine as well. Yeah, so pretty much exactly what you mentioned before. Strip Mine, Wasteland, Caracas. Yeah, the little bits and bobs that's required. Crop rotation, fast bonds. Yeah, so pretty generic. They might be actually sharing the same points, although I'm not sure if Brandon's playing the Urza Saga, so we could see a difference there, and maybe not the Caracas either. Sam Stouthearted, still remaining ever Stouthearted, coming in again for another 2. It was nice that Ronnie was able to draw that Mox Diamond. Surprised he still had lands in hand, but that does get around the Wasteland every turn.
Definitely. Get some permanent mana sources to...
They're tossing up over in their hands. A little bit obscured by the lighting in this area. But Ronnie's got 2 unknown cards. Brandon got the Dark Depths, Misty Rainforest, Crucible of Worlds, another unknown. So not too much going on. But I guess if you're Brandon, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this. I guess it sets you up. You're just trying to be like as safe as possible. Like you are supposed to take less risks when you're behind, and that makes sense. But, like we could just have the Thespian Stage 2 mana open and then just pass the turn. Not sure what Ronnie has up his sleeve, but a pretty reasonable option. Interesting, just getting rid of it completely. This is going to be a tough
think-
game for him to come back from.
Yeah, I think Brandon has their own Dark Depths in hand.
Yes, yeah, I saw it in his hand before. I mean, that would be the only reason, of course, to just play out your own. I think Brandon just thinks that he's kind of ahead enough that he can just do it like that.
Yeah, we scooping it up.
The scoop. Yep.
Go to a game 3.
Lovely. Love a good game 3. I mean, that was like that's the prison draws that you kind of don't see heaps often with the lands decks, but they definitely exist as those like surely just lock you out very early in the game. You can see people who have experienced prison locks before, they're just like, fine, let's go to the next game, I'm not going to come out from this, but it is very tempting, of course, to try your hardest to claw your way back up until the bitter end.
Don't concede until you're dead. Definitely is reasonable.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see if they make any sideboarding changes game 2. This game 3.
Ronnie seems to be looking.
Yeah, just checking to see if there's anything else you want to change up. Rowan sideboard. Carpet of Flowers, Choke, Collective Brutality, Collector Oof, Force of Vigor, Glacial Chasm, Leyline of the Void, Nihil Spellbomb, Opposition Agent, Root, Path, Purifier, which I haven't heard before, Sheldur's Edict, Sphere of Resistance, Terra Sunder, and Torpor Orb. I can't see very many of these coming in at all, really. Like, you do want that Graveyard Hate, maybe that Nihil Spellbomb, Leyline.
Opposition Agent.
Yeah, Opposition Agent sounds good. I do like that a lot. And maybe your Carpet of Flowersing or choking, but
I don't think there's enough
it doesn't seem like very many
to board those in.
It's kind of funny, Carpet of Flowers. It becomes very good very early, so you can theoretically bring it in, but you just obviously don't want to get dinked. Like even one island is a mana dork, and a mana dork that you can use on the same turn as well, because of the way that it's worded. So it does have a little bit of value even in those light blue splashes, but it depends on what he thinks he's the aggressor, maybe. If he thinks that he's the aggressor, having that extra mana might be pretty beneficial, especially if it's non-wastelandable mana. So they're tempting him for sure. At our opening. Oh, we're actually still sideboarding. Okay, we're just tossing up their reanimate, whether or not it's worth taking out. What do you think, Kate?
I don't think the opposing lands deck is killing that many creatures, and your own creatures aren't ending up in the graveyard super often, so it doesn't seem like the best in this matchup.
I mean, Ronnie does have the 1-2 punch of the Entomb reanimate. I guess Hogak is just your get there. So like the punk out factor is available. Wrong button. Ruben, you're closer. Lovely. Yeah. I mean, you could get that 1-2 punch, but I guess for consistency's sake, maybe you're just prioritizing cards that you know are always going to be good instead of the ones that might be good later.
Yeah. Try not to get run over by Wasteland Strip Mine early again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that Brandon stayed true to the sideboard plan. Let's see if I can have a dig up. You have their lists available, but not immediately available, but that's part of the fun. Yeah. At our opening hands now. Still we can glean. Okay, crop rotation. Let's see if Sylvan Safekeeper, I think.
Elvish Reclaimer.
Stage. Reclaimer, nice. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a couple of options for our turn 1 plays. Brandon on the other side, we haven't seen much yet, just scrub land, a couple of lands as strip mine there. Yeah, we'll see what comes out of this this next couple of turns.
Exploration. Oh,
For the play.
Life and Loam is a good draw.
Loam, always a good draw. And this time no different. Do we have any ways to get out any extra mana early?
No, but we have a Prismatic Ending to stop Ronnie from getting extra mana early.
It counts. It's so interesting with the play draw difference. Like that was like better for Brandon to keep that hand because he was on the draw, you know. So it was like, well, any one drop that Ronnie plays, I'm going to want to get rid of, you know, whether or not it's Deathmatch Shaman or if it's Explore Fast Bond. Damage might already be done with the Fast Bond and the Explore, but still way more than happy to have that be your turn 1 play.
For sure.
You can get an idea about what Brandon's playing in the sideboard here. We have Ashiok, as we saw before, Blue Elemental Blast, Carpet of Flowers, Collective Brutality, Collector Oof, Deafening Silence, Dread Fugue, Duress, also Vigor, Glacial Chasm, Hydroblast, Null Rod, Scavenging Goose, Sylvan Library, Veil of Summer. A veritable who's who of sideboard cards. I mean, we definitely always see these Veil of Summers, these Null Rods, the Sylvan Libraries in the green decks. I think the only thing that's probably worth mentioning, Deafening Silence is pretty interesting. I've seen it played. It's funny because it like doesn't beats Breach, but it doesn't quite beat Oracle. Like a lot of Grixis Oracle decks can probably either just Tainted Pact on their on your turn, untap, cast Thassa's Oracle, or just bounce it with a Brazen Borrow or something like that. So it's never a permanent answer to those combos, but definitely a nice roadblock for that 1 mana cost.
Yeah, and because it's only non-creature spells, they can just Oracle Pact on that turn as well, without it being interrupted.
Nice one. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh my god, Thassa's Oracle is also it's also a creature. It's like the kid keeps getting text every time I read it.
The Scavenging Ooze we saw last game does look quite good as another graveyard hate kind of piece.
Yep. We'll see what Ronnie comes up with. This is I think no, we haven't missed the land drop, right? Ronnie got that extra one for the Explorer, so
yeah. Green Suns for
here's
3.
Green Suns. Okay, what are we Green Sunsing for? You think?
Could be a Grist or a Corsair Crucifix, or I'm not actually sure what else is. There's an Azusa got pulled to the front.
Azusa being thumped to the front, yeah. Incorrectly coming to the front, opposition agents. I guess you've also got Dryad of Ilsean Grove, Tireless Tracker if you're an old school Magic player like me.
Raminap's a good one.
Raminap's a good one. So definitely plenty of options. Maybe he's found his niche in that 3-drop slot, but we'll see what he's deciding on. It might be this Raminap coming to the front.
Raminap into the onboard strip mine doesn't sound terrible, so stop that being a thing that matters.
Yeah, and next turn, the Elvish Reclaimer's back online, so theoretically can sack a thing, go and get another thing, and then also get it back with the Raminap. So yeah, it looks like that's the direction this one is going.
It does look like a good direction.
Absolutely. Getting in for one with that Elvish Reclaimer.
There's Ashiok in Brandon's hand, but there's the creatures in play means the pressure is kind of awkward to play that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I see the Knight of the Reliquary as well. Otherwise, that's Field of the Dead and some other little bits and bobs. But yeah, it is tough when you've got that only 3 power at the moment, but actually it only starts from 5 from memory, or maybe even 4. So
5, yeah,
not worth playing yet. Definitely got to clear out the board first, I think, before making any brash decisions with Garfield.
But if you don't,
Oh,
yeah, if you don't play the Ashiok, then Ronnie is threatening to use Proclaimer to find Dark Depths with the stage.
that's true. That's very true. Yeah. So we know that the combo is online even without that crop rotation because of the Elvish Reclaimer. So it's kind of a who blinks first scenario, for sure. Get the players from Brandon. Brandon definitely taking his time to figure out the best way to navigate it. Problem is that by the looks of it, his 3 drops in his hands are actually very proactive. So maybe he's thinking about whether or not he can afford to take the turn off for the Knight of the Reliquary because that Knight will give him an opportunity, but not much else in the way of movement.
I think we're choosing to hold up the waste of the strip mine, so there's no way to threaten a 2020 right now.
We do it. I mean, I guess he's just preparing for the eventuality, but I think you actually, I guess with crop rot, you definitely can. You just crop rot. And, so if you tap down for that turn, so.
Yeah. So if you play like the Corso Crucifix, then you get 2020, which doesn't sound great.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, so yeah, definitely. I think he's just probably trying to figure out what do I like. Do I have to play this? Do I have to keep the strip mine open for the rest of the game? Can I take a turn off my turn 3s? And now I guess we're at a situation where Brandon kind of has to play something. I mean, I'm presuming he's got the lands in hand, which I'm sure he does, but he's got to do something. He can't just sit around doing nothing all day. Maybe he can. Holy moly, maybe he can. He's got a wasteland.
And then we play Ashiok now.
Oh.
Interesting.
Maybe you might. I guess you might either also just like not tick it down. A bit of 5. I think the Elvish Reclaimer is going to be soon to be on.
If you tick it down, then the Ashiok shrinks it.
Oh, you're right. Okay. So that will put it. Oh yeah. So maybe you can. Like Ashiok takes the hit, puts them down to 1, 3 damage from the Ramanap and the shrink.
But you get a turn.
If you get a turn, yeah, exactly. And then that gives you an opportunity to play the Reclaimer, or maybe try and find two threats to deploy. But we'll see. It'd be nice if we could get the Dark Depths combo in the graveyard and then Ashiok, but just hold on. We might be doing hold on 2 seconds because we have an active Ashiok. But people can't.
It's on the stack. It's on the stack.
It's on the stack. We haven't decided whether or not we're Ashioking yet. Good.
Yeah. Ashiok got cast, and we're casting Crack to Fetch, casting Crop Rotation in response.
The players are all over it. I was like, oh, we're about to see a static punk in real life. But no, you're absolutely right. They Ashiok on the stack, crop rotation. This is kind of forces Ronnie's hands because if you're crop rotationing for Dark Depths, like you can't do it anyway. But maybe you just leave it open.
I think I like this. You get the strip mine, and then if you don't use it, we're using it. Okay.
We have enough mana. No, we don't. We're so close. We almost have Elvish Reclaimer get the other land. And it's 2 mana to activate. So yeah, you're actually just 1 short.
Yeah.
You wanted to strip because you can proactively strip mine Brandon strip mine.
Which I think is what's happening.
You don't have enough mana to also make the combo.
Yeah, but now they use the strip mine and then you activate in response, or they let it happen and then you still activate in response and you get Dark Depths. And there's a tap strip mine. Well, not strip mine, a used strip mine.
I think we're going to see what really breaks the mirror, which is the very delicate process of organizing these stacks. And organizing the
But
situation. So
this is the problem in that if they just strip the Thespian stage, then you can't make the 2020.
yeah, so interesting. So using the Thespian stage to stack. We can't get the dark depths. I think he's just giving up on the dark depths. That's probably a wise idea, but this
Yeah.
this is really funny. The Urza Saga is the choice for Ronnie, and it's gonna go away soon. And you gotta by the time that it ticks down to 0, you gotta have an answer for that Ashiok, because otherwise you don't get the benefit searching a library for that 0 or 1 mana artifact.
I don't think unless you can make this Elvish Reclaimer into a 3/4, you shouldn't be able to, but it goes to 2 next turn,
Right.
and you attack it for 3,
Yeah.
and then
Okay. No, you're right. We have a little bit of time. We've got time.
Yeah, a little bit of time.
So interestingly, okay, I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure we swap rotationing and then Urza Saga doesn't get the things, but no, we're ticking up to 2 now, entering Ronnie's first main phase.
It's when you Saga copy it, you get a Saga with no counters on it.
Oh, yeah. Then it ticks up next turn, right?
Yeah, and then you go to your next main phase, and it goes to 0 to 1.
Ah, fun. I think when Judges finally getting over the Dryad Arbor, and then Urza Saga comes out and throws it all out the window. Going land-related judge calls.
Modern Horizons 2 having lots of cards with weird judge calls, like Grist as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Question is, Kate, in your binder, do you put Grist with your creatures or with your planeswalkers?
I would put it with the Planeswalkers and like sort it in a deck picture with like the Planeswalkers. But
I see it.
It is very
it's a funny meme to be like, yes, this is a creature, but sorting purposes, maybe Grist doesn't have any power outside of the realm of magic. Maybe that's okay. So as you said, attacking in the Ashiok, but only with 1. I think that's okay to leave the Reclaimer out. I guess it's not really doing anything, so maybe it should attack, but maybe there's like a world you get rid of the Ashiok. I'm not sure exactly what Ronnie's thinking, keeping the Elvish Reclaimer alive.
Yeah, if you attack it for 1, then Brandon's in a bind and can't really minus it without losing the Ashiok, and then the Saga gets to find a card.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just yeah, we'll see.
But the Saga isn't long, maybe not long for this world in the face of a wasteland.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see what Brandon decides with it. It will almost certainly make its construct, but with no other artifacts on the battlefield, it will only be a 1/1. That's still enough to definitely take out that Ashiok. I think you've hit the nail on the head. We're just deciding what we're going to do with that wasteland. And
make a 1/1.
Ronnie's being very stoic about this. This is the second time he's had his lands sort of taken for granted, chucked in the bin, exiled and stuff, and he's doing it with a straight face. I think he's probably pretty happy that he's at least gotten to 4 or 5 mana before the Life from the Lone Wasteland block starts.
Yeah. His Ashiok is incentivized to minus because of the ramming up Excavator plus the Wasteland, plus the Saga getting it back. So we're likely to see that happen.
So, the Life from the Lone pick up our Wasteland.
Wasteland, Peatland.
Wasteland for turn, Wasteland to Peatland. Yeah, it's very rarely going to happen like this unless you have that fast bond or the exploration, but you do very occasionally get the opportunity to wasteland twice in a turn, and I think makes a difference. That's a lot of lands suddenly missing. You get an identity on this card in the middle.
It's the saga token.
Oh, it is the saga token, right? You are. Wait a minute, we just had that saga. Lovely.
I'm gonna endurance the fly from the loam and the wasteland. That's pretty good.
Yeah, super nice, super nice. Being able to tag them both, definitely a huge benefit.
We have a Knight of the Reliquary, Courser Crucifix, Mental Misstep, Field of the Dead, Waterloo Grove, and something else.
I think Pete's probably ready. Brandon's probably ready to turn the corner here.
Yeah.
Deploying his own threats and start actually adding to the board instead of just trying to control it, you know?
The 2/4 looking okay here into a bunch of creatures that get bounce with it.
Yeah, every single one by the looks of it. Construct's still a 1/1. And then obviously the 3/4 endurance and the 1/1 2/3. Yeah, where we're not getting through that pile at all.
But we have Fetch Land in the Graveyard plus Titania in hand for Ronnie, which is going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's super nice. Oh my god, that changes the equation a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, that endurance really changed the game. I mean, Brandon was kind of all in on, went back to the loam plan. It's like, well, now I'm going to start loaming for the rest of the game until you give up. Suddenly, I mean, Ronnie has 5 lands on the battlefield. The random map excavator kind of turning off that decision for Brandon because we are able to play cards from the graveyard. And you just see such a huge difference between these two battles, the board states from this game and the game before.
It looks like we decided to not go with Titania and instead cycle with Tranquil Thicket.
I mean, it sounded like the perfect opportunity to cast the Titania. I mean, you get the fetch land back from the graveyard as well, and then you have the opportunity to make that 5/5.
Yeah.
I wonder what Ronnie's thinking, prioritizing it in this other way.
Just trying to get this wasteland.
Yeah.
And start wastelanding all these lands down.
Yeah, see how you like it, Brandon. You know, I copped a game 2. Now revenge is mine.
This does make the Reclaimer into a 3/4 with Fetch Land, Tranquil Thicket, and Wasteland in the Graveyard to start getting in for like 5 points.
Okay. Yeah, no. Waterloo Grove, I guess it's been fine. I was going to say it's like it is hurting a little bit, but I think what's actually going to hurt a little bit more is these inky idiots coming in. And when he's not afraid of the 2/4, it's like, I'm going to bounce. I don't mind bouncing. Let's get in there, he says. He comes in with the random map excavator, the Elvish Reclaimer, and the endurance. We're going to go block. Conserve 3 life points, but still take 4. It's not nothing. Or maybe a bit more, right? 5?
Yeah, for 5.
Savin's Reclamation on top. Card that has seen a lot of play in a Highland, almost to the point of staple. Just okay.
I would say, yeah, it's just when you're in the format of one-offs, having cards that let you reuse your one-offs is much higher utility. And in a deck like lands, getting to rebuy a bunch of extra wastelands and pretty good powerful 3-drops, but looks like Brandon has succumbed to the power of Ramunap Excavator Wasteland.
Yeah, that was we didn't get to see the power of Savin's Reclamation, but as you said, just like buying back 2 lands, 5 mana and it in your graveyard is not that difficult at all. And then suddenly you're like, worst case scenario, you get like 2 lands, but very often you get a 3 drop and you get a land or like something like that. But even in the non-breach decks, and we do see it in breach as well, of course, very good with Lion's Eye Diamond. But it's interesting to see it come out in lots of different places. Lovely. Well, yeah, so Ronnie takes that one out. This was a league match. We're just doing a little bit of testing here. You might see this data in the future. Otherwise, I've been CBRMTG. I've been joined by Kate. Thank you, Kate.
No worries. It was a fun match to watch.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we'll both see you next time. Yeah.
Yeah.